ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Welcome into the roundup here on your Friday. And we've got a full studio again this week. It's been a fun week. We've talked some softball. We've already talked some soccer. We're going to talk some more soccer today as we've got members of the Alamogordo boys soccer team and their brand new head coach, Lee Wilder's here with us. Coach, how are you?
Good. Thank you very much.
Well, first off, congratulations. And what's the excitement level getting a chance to work with these guys coming up?
I'm extremely excited. I know most of the boys, coached them in the off-season over the last 6-7 years for some of them. So I'm very excited to get the season started. I think there's a great expectation in the community, and I know there's a great expectation in the soccer community because these guys had an excellent season last year, you know, making it to the quarterfinals and only getting pushed out by the team that ended up winning the state championship and holding them to a tough game. I wasn't there, but my wife was texting me every minute of the day, and she said that coach was worried. So great expectations for these boys. I got no doubt that another year of growth and another year experience under their belt, that they're going to take that step forward.
All right, well, we'll have you guys introduce yourselves. Folks, of course, can't see you out there, so say your name and what position you expect to be playing this year, and we'll start here on the left.
I'm Keith Wilder, and I've been playing left defense for the past few years, but I'm hoping to experiment with a new few positions this year as well.
All right.
I'm Johnathan Lucero, and I'm playing defense majority, like in the middle, center back.
All right.
Adam Foltz, and I'm mostly up top.
Okay.
Ezra Cadwallader, and I'm the other center back.
All right, very good. Well, we got a great group of guys here, and you've got a nice, I'd say, diversity of different parts of the field that are going to be important to you this year. But, yeah, Coach, you mentioned it. I mean, this is a group that has a lot of expectations. These guys have expectations for themselves, and obviously there'll be a transition with Coach Player moving on, but it certainly feels like this can be a very good year for this team this year.
Yeah, Coach Player did a wonderful job bringing these boys along. The program developed as a whole. I think his first season, I think they had won one game. And since then, last season we went 13-6-4, was that it?
Yeah.
And even among those 6 losses, there was a couple of 1 losses that we lost in overtime that could have really gone either way. So they really could have easily had a 14-15 win season. So they had an excellent season. Looking at our schedule, we don't have a cupcake schedule, which is great because I'd like to play some tough games early on to make sure that these guys know where they stand amongst the best in the state. The guys know, listen, we ain't going to go 20-0, okay? We're going to lose a game. So we just need to make sure that we learn from our mistakes, correct them as we go, and understand that the most important thing is just to win the last game of the season, okay? If we lose 2, 3, 4 games, it's not a big deal once we get into the tournament. We're going to make sure we win that last game of the season, and that's taking the extra step. If we win less games this season but make it into the final, then, hey, listen, I think that's a successful season because that's moving on, and that's what we're looking for.
All right. Well, Ezra, I'll start with you over here. You know, what did getting to the playoffs last year, winning a game in the playoffs, feel like it did for the team confidence-wise? I mean, what did you take away from it personally, getting to play there?
Well, I mean, it was great. You think about all this, and you always think about the big games and getting to play there. And it was just a great experience to be there and be up there and know that you can be in the state tournament and win a game against some of the best teams in the state.
Absolutely. Adam, getting the opportunity to compete against, you guys were competing against great teams all year long, but when you get to that playoff chance, talk about being able to compete up in Albuquerque and at Bernalillo up at the fields up there. What was that experience like, and did it just make you want to get there even more?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. The competition was great up there, and, moving forward this year, I'd love to be back there and hopefully, win a state title as my last year. So
yeah. John, what do you feel like this team maybe needs to do better from compared to last year in order to take that extra step and be competing for a championship?
I think that we just need to all bond more as like a whole, and that we just need to keep it going all the way, like keep going 100, don't slack off or anything.
Just keep working on the same things you guys have been working on previously?
Yeah.
Keith, what did you take away most from last season, which was the big step forward for this group? We'd kind of been waiting on it. We saw that there was improvement 2 years ago than the year before that. What was 2016 like for you as a group and you personally?
It was an amazing season going from that 1-18 season that we had my freshman year and just kind of developing throughout the years. It was just an amazing experience to finally go to the state tournament and experience what all the other kids in other sports had gone through. And, it's always, as we progress forward this year, just to stay those extra few nights in Albuquerque, end up going to the final and getting a trophy.
Have that opportunity. I think we'd all like to see that. I think we all think this group is capable of that. Coach, I do want to go back a little bit. I meant to ask you this beforehand. For folks who maybe don't know you that well, you've been around our community and involved in our community for years and years now. But tell folks about your past in soccer and where they might know you from, or what you've been involved with over the last number of years.
Sure, I've been in the community since 1988. Met my wife here in college. She's from little town La Luz, just outside of town. So once we met in college, that there was no way we were going anywhere else. She's got roots here. So I ended up becoming a law enforcement officer in town and just recently retired after 20 years of service here in town. So I've got a second job, obviously, but my boss at Alamogordo Physical Therapy and Wellness Center, Bob Patillo, has got no problem allowing me the time that it's going to need to flex my time, take some days off on the travel time. He's very supportive of the community. His kid even played soccer back in the day, and both his kids were high school athletes, so I really want to appreciate that. But I was born and raised in England, graduated from high school in Germany, played my entire life. As a matter of fact, this weekend I'll be playing in an over 40 tournament in Ruidoso. If anybody wants to come up and smell Bengay, just follow the smell. That's where we'll be playing. So yeah, I've played since I was 3 years old, won at all different types of levels. These kids, I'm so proud to just sit here and listen to them. Great group of men, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and you also mentioned just a little while ago that you've worked with select teams and youth teams traveling. Mm-hmm. How important is that for high school teams to have kids that are involved with those type of programs throughout the state and throughout the region?
Well, I support kids playing all different types of sports, but you really need to be active and play all year round. If you expect to compete at the highest level in the state amongst some of the best players in the state, you can't expect to just play for 3 months, give it up for 7 months, and then pick it up where you left off. These kids play year round, which is why they are so competitive. We often played up in the tournaments that we went to give them the experience of competing against bigger and older kids. And that's going to pay the dividends. It paid dividends last year, and I think it's going to pay dividends this year. These guys, I think, are well prepared. They've been well coached over the last 5-10 years from all the coaches here in the community, and obviously Drew that's now going out. So I think these guys are prepared to take that next step. I am looking forward to providing them with a few tweaks here and there that I think we can make things a little bit better. But other than that, it's just getting out of their way and just let them go do what they need to be done.
Yeah, certainly. Keith, I'll ask you, what in terms of summertime and off season, what kind of teams are you involved in? What kind of things do you like to do in the off season when you're not playing Tiger sports with when it comes to soccer?
Well, I also participate in the cross country program at the high school. So after running with soccer in the mornings, I'll go with them. And so I personally just love the morning runs and all that. And it always just kind of training the 8th graders, getting them all into shape, so then when we get to drills and stuff in practice, everybody's all on the same page and is physically ready to compete.
Yeah, Johnny, are you doing any travel teams or anything like that, or what are you?
Yeah, we all are on the same traveling team, kinda. Okay. So we all play year round together, and it's just keep working on your craft, I guess.
And is it fun to be able to play? I'm sure there's guys that you see from other high school teams around the area, but I'm sure you get to see some teams from around the region as well, right?
Yeah, we see a lot of people that we play against. And so it's almost like scoping out the competition before the season even started.
Yeah. Adam, I'm sure you've probably played in those kind of select teams for years and years. What do you take out of that? How does that help you when varsity soccer rolls around in the fall?
Like Johnny said, we play together all year round, and being able to scope out the competition, and what I take from it is just you move on every day and just work from there.
Gotcha. Ezra, how about you? What do you enjoy most about being able to obviously play with these guys during the summertime and be familiar with each other as you head into the regular season, right?
It helps because you know how they play, and you're with your friends, and you know how everything works, and it's easier to play with people than rather just get thrown into a random team.
Gotcha. Well, I think, we've talked about it plenty about the expectations for this group, and, we'll certainly watch that and talk about that as we get closer to the start of the season. But what if, I don't know, Coach, how I know that you're officially going to be able to work with the team coming up on Monday. Mm-hmm. You've had a chance to obviously talk with the guys, and at least,
Sure.
if they already know you, but
Sure.
What was your first message to them when they found out that you were going to be the coach, and when you talked to them about the upcoming season?
Well, obviously there's going to be some changes. My personality is not exactly the same as Drew's. I'm old enough to be his dad, so I'm sure I interpret some things a little bit differently. I really do believe in that this is just an adjunct portion of these young men's maturation, that this is on the road to making these great young men that are going to move on to greater things. So they're going to learn a lot this season, as they did last season, how to interact with people, how to deal with losing, how to deal graciously with winning. Those are all things that are going to help them on later on in life. I just hope that they all can understand that this is a special time for them. This is the one chance that they're going to get in their high school career to really make a difference and to play with each other. They're going to remember this for the rest of their lives. So I'm going to really harp on the fact that they need to become a core group, not just the varsity, but JV also. We are one big program, and this is the time for us to develop this program with these young men and to utilize these young men in training the young men behind them that are going to come up in the next few years. So there's a great responsibility there, but I look around this table and I think there's people that can pull it off.
Yeah. Adam's a senior. Johnny, are you senior this year too?
No, I'm a junior.
Junior this year. Keith, you're a senior this year,
Yes.
right? Ezra, junior? Sophomore, okay. I knew there's a wide variety of different kind of age groups in there. Well, I'll start with the two seniors. Adam, in terms of being a leader, and you've been in that role to begin with. There were some seniors on last year's group that are going to be missed this year, but when the guys are looking to you, and it seems like it's very much a group effort among you. But do you like that role and being a leader and trying to help out the other guys in the team, and especially maybe the younger kids?
Of course, growing up, I always looked at the older kids on varsity team as, wow, they're the captains or they're the leaders of the team, and I want to be able to fill that role.
Yeah, Keith. What is it for you? What's important to you as a player in order to be a leader on the team? What do you feel like you need to be doing out there?
It's not only to just lead my team, but to lead the future generations coming up, because we're only here for one more year. I don't want to leave my juniors and sophomores behind with no other players developing coming up to help them win another state title in future years. So it's also just leading the littler kids coming up, building the confidence that they can play with each other and know that they're ready to be on the varsity program.
Yeah, Johnny, you see guys that are Ezra's a sophomore. There are some freshmen that have been on the team recently in recent years. It's all about trying to fit everybody in and give everybody an opportunity. And you've been that guy who's been out there as a freshman and a sophomore before. What is that experience like? And when the older guys are welcoming you in there, how important is that, do you think?
I think it's very important because normally the younger guys are almost, I don't want to say intimidated, but they just want to play. And if you accept them into letting them play and guide them, try to make them better, then it will boost their morale and it'll allow them to play the best of their ability.
Yeah. Ezra, playing as a freshman last year, clearly the group, you were starting a ton of games last year. You were an important part of the team. Clearly the group welcomed you in and you felt, very comfortable out there. What do you think, some of the older guys in the team did for you last year to make you feel part of the group?
Well, it was new going into varsity, kind of getting thrown in there, and they helped me a lot with, how I should play, and they'd, point out things I did wrong or things that I did right, and it was an easy integration to go into varsity.
That's what we want to hear. That's a good thing. I'm sure there are some teams where sometimes seniors and juniors, they've got their spot, and sometimes a little bit tougher for the freshmen, but I've never felt like that with any of the programs here at AHS. I do want to ask you guys one more thing. We really hadn't touched much on Coach Player, moving on, but, I do want to at least mention that, and, I'll start with you, Keith. What did Coach Player do for you? If you can talk about, being under him for 3 years and how he helped you as a soccer player.
He really just improved my agility and helped all of us mold together, because originally there was 2 teams in this town that ended up having to mold together, and having a brand new coach, not biased of one side, kind of just coming in and molding us together, and it helped us have those successful seasons in the end.
Yeah. John, what was the biggest thing you took away from Coach Player, you feel like, over 3 years of him being your coach?
just to give it your all at all times. And like how Keith said, there was 2 teams that we've never played together before, and he really helped us become as a whole, and that improved our soccer program tremendously, as you saw.
Yeah.
And I'm just thankful for what he did.
Adam, obviously we're not privy to be in the group with you guys and be able to learn or get anything from Coach Player. If somebody out there in the community, if you wanted to let them know something about Coach Player and what kind of coach he was for you guys, what would you tell them?
Oh man, he always said to give it your all and walk off that field like it's going to be your last game, and that's what I took from him.
Yeah. Ezra, how about you? What was your big thing that you got from Coach Player?
He was very committed. He'd run off season and preseason and all of that, and he'd always be there, committed, trying to make the team better. He wanted to be better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and clearly, these guys wanted to be better, and Coach, you obviously watched this team over the last 3 years with your son on there.
Sure.
It's been fun to watch this group. It's fun to watch the community involvement. That's one thing I've been most impressed with is, you being a part of, kind of the support and the community of this team.
Sure.
It's been great to see how many folks come out and watch boys soccer over the last season or two. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. The culmination of that was the playoff game. The playoff game was great. Atmosphere was great. That was a tight game. And I really think that the people that came out to that game and the people in the stands put us over the edge. They were our 12th man that game. That game could have gone either way, and I think the boys needed that extra push, and the crowd was able to provide it for them. So if I can tell anybody in the community, if you want to have a fun time and come out and watch some of the best young men do some of the best things that you'll ever see in the state on a soccer field, come out and watch on Tuesdays and Saturdays and watch these guys perform, and I don't think you'll be upset about it.
No, I don't think so at all. It's a great experience out there. Something else that's worth mentioning too is you guys are have been involved with your off-season workouts, and Coach Wilder's now going to take over that now. If there's anybody that has a boy that wants to get involved in soccer and get involved with the program, now's the time. There's no reason that you guys won't accept anybody. Just come on out and get involved, right?
Oh, absolutely. If they want to come out to practice, whether they're thinking about playing soccer, whether they want to just stay in shape, the practices are open. Tryouts are going to be on the 7th, August the 7th. But until then, we're going to be out every day from 6 in the afternoon to 8 at night at the Rainer Steinhoff Complex. We're going to be evaluating everybody that comes out, working on our physical fitness and figuring out how we can improve. And if you're one of those kids that doesn't know whether this is for you, come on out and give it a shot. It's never too late.
Yeah, and that's it's never a bad idea. Just come out and do some work with these guys. And these, as we mentioned, these guys will be more than happy to have a bunch of guys out there. That's something else that boys soccer, the turnout for tryouts the number of kids has been unbelievable over the last number of years. There's certainly a lot of interest in soccer, boys and girls, in this community, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I think it's a good sport to get involved in. Obviously, coming from England, I think it's the best sport in the world, and it's the real football. But other than that, obviously, it's a great team sport. It's one of those sports that there's no timeouts. It's a flowing sport. Some people see it's boring to watch, but when you're playing it, you're in it all the time because there's no timeouts. Sometimes it's 45 minutes straight. If the referee's not calling a lot of fouls, you can go 10, 15 minutes without any break whatsoever. So I think it's a complex sport when you get into the movement of it, but it's a great sport to play from a physical fitness perspective and from a team sport perspective because everybody's interlocking on that field. And like I said, there's no timeouts. Once you get started, it's all on you.
Yeah. Well, I feel like one of you guys is going to have the same answer to this, but I'll ask each of the question. Expectations for this year, district champion, state champion, is that what you guys are shooting for, Keith?
Definitely district championship first, and you can never go a season without saying you don't want that blue trophy as well. So, of course, we want it.
Yeah. Johnny, how about you? I mean, is that what everybody in the team is thinking about after getting so far at state last year?
Yeah, I think that's honestly been my goal. Like every season I play, just always try to win as much as you can and just hold the trophy up in your arms, say that you did it.
Yeah. Adam, I mean, state championship's obviously the ultimate goal, but I got to think for as tough as this district is, you guys, I think, play the toughest district out of any of the sports. To win that district championship, that would be a huge deal for you guys, wouldn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, that would be a very cool thing. And the state I mean, is that the way you look at it? That goal, state championship's going to be the ultimate goal for you?
Yes, it's our me and Keith's senior year, and we want to finish on top and move on.
Yeah. Ezra? I mean, obviously the expectations, the work in this group that seems to be maybe at the highest level maybe you've seen it with this team.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of commitment here. There's a lot of people showing up to preseason, and there's a desire. We want to go further than we did last year to experience that.
All right. Well, we look forward to it. It's going to be a great season. First game is that the 15th of August on there?
Yeah, first game is August the 15th. JV will play at 5. Varsity boys play at 7. So come on out and watch. On August the 15th, we'll be playing Mayfield, first game of the season.
All right. We don't have all the official schedules yet. As soon as we get those, we'll make sure we post them up on our Facebook page. But it looks like that's going to be the opening day for Tiger Soccer. Coach, congratulations again on the position, and best of luck to you and the guys this season.
Thank you very much.
Guys, good luck. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.